Hello, everyone, and welcome back again to our podcast, Learn English with Sam and Pam, where we help you slowly and clearly improve your English listening and speaking skills through simple, natural conversations that you can follow step by step without feeling stressed or overwhelmed.
Yes, hello everyone, and we are very happy to have you here with us again today. And in this episode, we are going to talk about a very important skill for English learners, which is how to think in English and how to practice it every day in a natural and simple way that fits into your normal life.
This is actually one of the most important goals for many English learners, because a lot of students say, I understand English, but I still translate in my head. And this makes speaking slow and difficult. So today, we are going to explore how to slowly change that habit.
And we want to start by saying that thinking in English is not something that happens suddenly. It is not a switch that you turn on in one day, but it is a gradual process that develops through daily exposure, repetition, and simple mental practice over time.
Exactly. And many learners feel frustrated because they expect to translate less immediately, but in reality, your brain needs time to adjust because it is used to your native language, and now you are trying to build a second thinking system step by step.
So let's imagine something simple. When you wake up in the morning, your brain already has a natural habit of thinking in your first language. For example, planning your day, remembering tasks, or thinking about your responsibilities. And now the goal is to slowly introduce English into these same thoughts.
Yes, and this does not mean you need to think in perfect sentences. It can start very simply, like, I am tired, I want coffee, I will study later, or even just naming objects around you in English in your mind without pressure.
And this is very important because many learners think thinking in English means speaking perfectly in your head, but actually it means using simple words and ideas in English without translating everything from your native language first.
Now let's talk about why translation happens in the first place. Because your brain is trying to be efficient, so it uses your strongest language as a base. And this is normal. But with practice, you can slowly reduce this step of translation.
And one of the best ways to reduce translation is to increase exposure to English, because the more you listen, read, and repeat English, the more your brain starts to recognize patterns, and eventually it starts to store meaning directly in English instead of translating.
For example, if you hear the phrase, I am going to the shop, many times in different situations, your brain will stop translating it word by word, and instead it will directly connect the phrase with the action of going to a shop.
And this is how thinking in English slowly begins, not through memorizing rules, but through repeated exposure to real language in real contexts, even if it is simple and basic at the beginning.
Now let's talk about a very practical method that learners can use every day, which is called narrating your life in English, where you simply describe what you are doing during the day using very simple sentences in your mind or out loud.
Yes, for example, when you are cooking, you can think, I am cooking rice, I need water, I am cutting vegetables. And even if the sentences are very simple, this practice trains your brain to use English for real-life actions.
And the important thing here is not perfection, but repetition. Because even short and simple sentences, when repeated daily, slowly become automatic in your thinking process.
Another useful technique is to label objects around you in your mind. For example, when you see a table, you think table. When you see a window, you think window. And this helps build direct connections between objects and English words.
And over time, your brain starts to reduce the need for translation because it already has direct links between meaning and English vocabulary, so thinking becomes faster and more natural.
Now, let's also talk about an important challenge, which is the feeling of, my thoughts are too fast for English, because many learners say they cannot think quickly enough in English when they try.
Yes, and this is completely normal, because your thoughts are naturally faster in your native language. So the goal is not to match that speed immediately, but to slowly build comfort in using simple English thoughts first.
And this is why we always recommend starting with very small thoughts, not long, complex sentences, because simple thinking is the foundation and complexity comes later naturally.
Another powerful habit is to ask yourself simple questions in English during the day. For example, what am I doing? what do I need? Or what do I see? Because questions activate your brain to respond in English instead of your native language.
And even if you answer with very short phrases like I am working or I need rest, this is already a big step toward internal English thinking because you're training your brain to respond directly in English.
Now let's connect this idea with listening, because listening is one of the strongest tools for building thinking in English, especially when you listen to slow and clear English conversations like this podcast.
Yes, because when you listen regularly, your brain becomes familiar with sentence structures, and over time, you start to predict language, which means you understand meaning without translating every word.
And this is a very important moment in learning, because when you stop translating every sentence, your thinking becomes more direct and your speaking becomes faster and more natural.
Another important point is patience, because thinking in English is not a quick skill. It develops slowly over weeks, months, and even years, depending on how often you practice and how much English you include in your daily life.
Yes, and many learners give up too early because they do not see immediate change. But in reality, small mental changes are happening every day, even if they are not visible at first.
For example, one day you suddenly realize that you understood a sentence without translating it, and that is a very important milestone, even if it happens after a long time of practice.
Now let's talk about speaking, because thinking in English is directly connected to speaking fluency. And the more you think in English, the easier it becomes to speak without stopping too much.
Yes, because speaking is basically your thoughts becoming words. So if your thoughts are already in English, then speaking becomes much smoother and less stressful.
Another helpful practice is to describe your past day in English before sleeping. For example, today I went to work. I met my friend. I was tired. And this helps your brain review your life using English thinking.
And even if you make mistakes, it doesn't matter because the goal is not accuracy at this stage. The goal is mental habit building, which means training your brain to stay in English mode more often.
We also want to mention that consistency is more important than long study sessions, because thinking in English is built through frequent small moments, not rare long sessions.
So even 5 minutes of thinking in English every day is more powerful than one long session once a week, because repetition creates stronger neural connections in your brain.
And now let's talk about emotional blocks, because some learners feel embarrassed when they try to think in English, especially at the beginning when everything feels slow or simple.
But this is completely normal, and there is no reason to feel pressure, because even simple thinking is a success, and every small step is part of the learning process.
Another useful idea is to imagine conversations in your mind. For example, imagining ordering food, talking to a friend, or asking for directions, because this helps you prepare real-life English thinking situations.
And this kind of imagination practice is very powerful because your brain doesn't fully distinguish between real and imagined language practice, so it still helps you build fluency.
Now we are reaching a point where everything we discussed connects together. Listening, speaking, repetition, daily habits, and simple thinking, all working together to slowly build English inside your mind.
And if you continue practicing in a gentle and consistent way, you will slowly notice that English becomes less like a subject you study and more like a tool you use to think about your daily life.
And this is the real goal of today's episode. Not perfection, not speed, but transformation from translation-based thinking to simple, direct English thinking in everyday life.
And as we continue this topic, we are going to explore even more practical exercises you can use in your daily routine to strengthen this habit of thinking in English naturally, step by step, without pressure. And maybe next, we can go deeper into real daily situations where you can...
And maybe we can also look at how you can turn your daily environment into an English thinking space. Because once your surroundings support English, your mind starts to switch more naturally into English mode without forcing it too much.
Yes, and this is actually a very important continuation of what we were discussing, because thinking in English is not only about your mind, but also about what your mind is exposed to every day. So your environment plays a very big role in shaping your language habits.
For example, one simple but powerful idea is to change small parts of your daily routine into English moments, like setting your phone language to English or reading short English sentences on apps you use every day, so that English becomes something normal and familiar instead of something special or rare.
And what happens slowly over time is that your brain stops reacting to English as something foreign or difficult, and instead it starts treating it as part of your normal daily life, which reduces mental resistance and makes thinking in English feel more natural and automatic.
Another very useful practice is to create what we can call English pauses during your day, where you stop for just a few seconds and describe what is happening around you in English. For example, I am sitting. I am walking. It is sunny today, because these small moments build a strong habit of awareness in English.
And even though these sentences are very simple, they are extremely powerful because they train your brain to react in English in real time instead of waiting to translate everything first, which is exactly the change we want to develop for smoother thinking and speaking.
Now, let's talk about something many learners experience, which is thinking in English only when they are focused, but going back to translation when they are tired or distracted. And this is completely normal because habits are not stable at the beginning.
Yes, and this is why we always say consistency is more important than intensity, because even if you lose the habit sometimes, what matters is that you return to it again, and every return strengthens the habit a little more than before.
Another important idea is to reduce mental pressure, because many learners think they must force themselves to think in English all the time. But actually, forcing creates stress, and stress makes thinking slower, not faster.
So instead of forcing, it is better to gently guide your mind, like softly choosing English for simple thoughts during the day, and allowing your brain to switch slowly without punishment or frustration when you go back to your native language.
And one very effective method for this is inner commentary practice, where you describe your actions step by step in your mind. For example, I open the door, I take my bag, I drink water. And this creates a continuous flow of English thinking that connects actions with language.
And over time, this kind of practice becomes very natural because your brain starts to associate actions with English words automatically. So you don't need to translate or stop to think too much before speaking or understanding.
Now, let's also talk about reading, because reading simple English texts every day is another powerful way to improve thinking in English, especially when you read slowly and try to understand meaning directly instead of translating each word.
Yes, and when you read regularly, you start to recognize common sentence patterns, and your brain begins to store these patterns as ready-made structures that you can later use in speaking and thinking.
For example, if you often see sentences like, I want to, or I need to, your brain will start using these structures automatically when you think or speak, without needing to build them from zero every time.
Another helpful technique is to repeat sentences after you read them, because reading alone is passive, but when you repeat, you activate speaking muscles and strengthen memory at the same time.
And this combination of reading and repeating is very powerful for building English thinking, because it connects understanding with production, which is exactly what fluency requires in real-life communication.
Now let's talk about emotional confidence again, because thinking in English is not only a technical skill, it's also a mental habit that depends on how comfortable you feel with making mistakes inside your own mind.
Yes, because many learners feel shy even when thinking alone, as if they must be perfect even in their thoughts. But actually, thinking is the safest place to make mistakes, because nobody's judging you there, so it should feel free and relaxed.
And when you allow yourself to think in simple and imperfect English, your brain becomes more open to experimenting with language, and this experimentation is what leads to faster improvement in speaking later on.
Another important idea is to use English for planning simple things in your day. For example, planning what you will eat, what you will do, or what you need to buy, all in simple English words and short sentences.
And this is very effective because planning is a natural thinking activity. So when you switch your planning into English, you are automatically training your brain to use English for real decision-making processes.
Now let's imagine a learner who applies all these ideas slowly every day. At first, they might feel strange, like thinking in English is slow or incomplete. But after a few weeks, they start noticing that English words appear more easily in their mind.
Yes, and after some time, they might catch themselves thinking simple sentences without even trying, like, I am hungry or I need to study. And this is a very important sign that the brain is adapting to a new language system.
And from that point, speaking also becomes easier because instead of translating from their native language, they are already forming thoughts in English, which reduces delay and increases fluency.
Another key point we should not forget is that progress is not always visible day by day, but it becomes very clear when you compare yourself over weeks or months, because small daily habits create big long-term changes.
And this is why patience is so important, because thinking in English is not a quick skill. It's a mental transformation, and transformations always take time and repetition.
Now let's go back to practice ideas, because we want to give learners very practical steps they can use immediately, like setting a reminder during the day to think in English for just 1 minute about anything around them.
Yes, and during that 1 minute, you can describe your environment, your feelings, or your actions in very simple sentences. And the goal is not perfection, but activation of English thinking in your brain.
And if you do this regularly, even for a short time, your brain will slowly build a habit of switching into English mode more easily, especially in everyday situations.
Another idea is to keep a small mental diary in English, where you reflect on your day using simple sentences like, today I worked, I was tired, I learned something new, because this reinforces English thinking at the end of the day.
And over time, this becomes a natural habit where you don't need to translate your life anymore, but you can describe it directly in English, even in a very simple way.
So, as we continue this discussion, we are really building a full picture of how thinking in English is not one single skill, but a combination of small habits, repeated exposure, simple speaking practice, and gentle daily awareness.
And we're still not finished here, because there are even more strategies and real-life examples we can explore to help you strengthen this ability. And maybe next we can go deeper into how you can...
So, if we bring everything together, the main idea is actually quite simple. Thinking in English is not a talent. It's a daily practice built from small, almost invisible habits that slowly reshape how your brain works.
Exactly. It's not about doing something dramatic or perfect. It's about creating repeated exposure, gentle awareness, and low-pressure use of English until it stops feeling like study and starts feeling like life.
And maybe the most important shift is this: stop treating English as a separate subject you enter and exit, and start letting it mix into your normal thoughts, even in tiny ways.
Because once that happens, everything becomes easier. Speaking, understanding, even confidence. Not overnight, but steadily, like something quietly unlocking inside your daily routine.
So don't wait for a perfect moment or a perfect level. Start small, stay consistent, and let your mind do the rest over time.
And remember, the goal isn't to think in perfect English. It's simply to think in English more often than yesterday.
That's it for today's discussion. Keep it simple, keep it consistent, and let your mind do the rest over time.
See you in the next one.